Hi, everyone. I hope you are all having a great weekend. Last week was very bullish for the stock market on a 1 week basis as the market rallied 5.29%. But overall, as you can see, when we go back to when the downtrend actually started, let's say below the 50-day moving average, we're only up 0.38%, and it's been very volatile. And in case you don't know, a 4 week average true range of the index prices is the most volatile it has been since 2008. Before even knowing this data, about 4 days or 3 days ago, I made mention that this is the most volatile market I have seen since 2008. Looks more volatile than 2011, feels more volatile. Not only is that correct, but we are also in the middle of the most illiquid market that we've ever had. If you go to a link on the new positions page, you can see that in this link that I posted, it shows the underneath liquidity of the market, and it basically is not there. And as you'll notice the volume rally, look at the volume on the decline in the NYSE. Look at it on the rally. That doesn't look like a really healthy V-shaped rally overall. The NASDAQ, I just forgot to show you that too. Look at the volume on the downside. Look at the volume on the upside. Leaves a lot to the imagination, especially with them running right into their downtrending moving average. The 50-day moving average actually breaking out over the NASDAQ and NASDAQ 100 actually breaking out over the 50-day moving average could very easily be a fake out breakout of this index. I've never seen more people more louder, more bullish on this buy the dip moment than I've ever seen in the market before. So it's kind of funny that this is happening now whenever I have some of the most violent megaphone shaped stock patterns. It's whenever you get a high, a low, then a higher high, then a lower low, then another higher high. Apple showing that one. MMM, also another thing you can do is you can take a trend line, connect them through the highs, take a trend line, connect them through the lows, and what you start to see are megaphone patterns. That's what this is, an MMM. Look at ITC. This is another of what we call a megaphone pattern. It's whenever the daily price ranges expand from highs to lows. It's never a bullish sign for the stock usually. Like very rarely are you going to see a stock break out from a megaphone pattern and then just run higher without a single hitch in the road, no volatility, just straight up upside price action. You're not going to see that. So megaphone patterns are never good, and that's what we have everywhere. However, they're not everywhere. There are stocks that are starting to form bases, but once again, look at all the red, look at the little yellow. Still, if they can continue to symmetrically base out sideways in the cup pattern, form a handle, get huge volume on the rally, BITA is a stock I want to get long. Earnings are going to be coming up on a lot of these, so buyable gap ups with these kind of consolidation patterns. YY also, it's a pretty symmetrical overall sell off and basing so far the right side, so breakout to new highs on YY would be buyable. Our plays for Monday, Tuesday, VRTX just above the recent highs. If it gaps above them after earnings, a VRTX is a long, but a hard sell stop has to immediately go on the book. Also, AGN, same thing. It's basing very tightly near the highs. If breakouts new highs, buy stops will go. PCRX, I really do not like this chart pattern. Once again, it has one of those megaphone patterns I was talking to you about. Hopefully I pressed the right one. Yep. But this one isn't as pronounced, but still, I can see it, and that's all I need to do is be able to see it. So PCRX is one that I am considering too, even though despite that pattern, and even MNK, even if it breaks out here, it will too have a megaphone pattern, but it's a higher quality stock. Also, my perfect speculator scan, so I'm more apt to ignore that. PSXP, buy stop of the 50-day moving average, might be a good spot to get long this stock, as it appears that it could have bottomed if the market wants to rally. Also on the short side, I can't find any shares at IB. Hopefully this weekend there will be shares, but IBIO looks like it's ready to go back to the 50-cent range that it once came from. So I'm very interested in getting that short if I can. We would already be short, as you know, back here and here. So this is more just like house cleaning work of IBIO ending its run. Lake 2, I took an intraday short position a while ago, and that continues to work the quarter of it that I kept. but I'm watching those on the short side. House cleaning, CTP overnight short position, 75% of that has to be gone. Remember, close above 1646, 1647 is my buy stop, excuse me. So we'll be completely out of that one. And then also non-index play closing below the 50-day moving average, SOX S. So I want to take off half of that hedge. Yes, I'm still holding on to that hedge, but because overall this market just hasn't convinced me to take it fully off. And VIXM, I know, it still looks like it's good. We got a great fill, thank goodness, around 1645, but I want to go ahead and take half of it off. Already half of what I have left, so it'll only be 25% of the original position because I had sell stops at 1632, and it triggered that on the 23rd, and then today with it closing even further down on heavier volume, want to go ahead and get rid of more. Also, INFU was a stock that I went long, gave it only to chat room members. However, even though you see that it traded down to 361 in the morning, the truth is the stock opened about 5 minutes late at 375, and it never saw 363 or 361, and unfortunately I didn't go market limit. I went all limit because of the condition of this tape. And whoops, missed out on some nice gains. But still, there could be more, so we'll be watching. RGLS, look at that continued momentum. We're watching it 2 days ago. But just to let you know, I believe VPCO was the stronger momentum company, and look at how it's reacting. So, you still got to be careful out there. BAXS is also one that I'm watching too for possible big momentum from a super cheap stock. I would watch this one intraday to see if, you can't make a quick 25, 50, 100% gain on an intraday breakout, especially on support area if you see the bids start to pile up on the level 2 quotes. New overnight long position, CBPO. This used to be a perfect speculator stock scan. I caught it in my new 52-week high scan. However, it will be a perfect speculator stock scan if it just goes up another 5%, because that'll give it a 100% gain over the past year. So CBPO is going to be a 2.5% signal. In a uptrending market, it's a 5%er despite its low volume. This is an extremely high quality stock. And then PTX showed up in 2 scans, my price volume scan and my new high scan. Very nice breakout of a short handle. It's a high handle, so this is a cup with high handle base. Very strong breakout. Seems to be a lot of pent up accumulation and demand in this stock chart, and I would hate to pass on it and see it go up 25-30% in a few weeks instead of being wrong and losing 8%. Hard sell stops on the book though, no matter what, below $9. Okay, everybody, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up there. Thank you. Have a great upcoming week.